My mother, 44F, puts her stepdaughter, 30F, above me, her daughter, 27F. It's very off-putting and is tainting my life experiences with her. My mother and her really shitty, horrible person of a husband, that she is no longer with, got together when I was 10. He's been in and out of jail, is on drugs, etc. Not going to go on about that. When they got together it was very clear my mom was the only sane and stable person he had ever been with. He has only one child, that he actually claims and talks to, there are more, and was never a real parent to her. The man has never even had a job. So when my mother decided to keep him around for the long haul, they only officially got married a few years ago and it's already soured again. I guess she decided she was going to go above and beyond to make Sarah, for the sake of this post, feel loved and like she was her daughter as well. And listen, I'm not saying this is a bad thing. If I had stepchildren I would make sure they felt just as important as any kids that were biologically mine, but my mother ignored me for most of my life and treated Sarah better than me. Told everyone she was her firstborn child and her oldest. Imagining a 10-year-old hearing that, made sure to make her extravagant gifts for even little holidays like Valentine's Day, which she would never do for me. Sarah never really came around besides every once in a while and on Christmas. There was a couple months one time when she was 16 that she lived with us, and my mom bought her first car. When I was 16 and even just hinted at the fact that I thought my mom would help me get a car, she went off on me and degraded me while asking why I thought she would actually help me get a car. She wouldn't even pick me up from my job after school, so I had to walk home at 11 p.m. as a teenager, and eventually had to quit after developing anxiety over grown men trying to stop and talk to me on the street at night. When Sarah got pregnant 7 to 8 years ago, my mom told everyone that her first grandchild was on the way and that she was going to be a grandmother for the first time. This got a rumor started that I was the one having a baby, because to everyone my mother knew I was her oldest child since, you know, that's what normal people think, and everyone thought I was pregnant and it was very embarrassing. I was actually hurt by her phrasing and said to her, "Don't you think that's sort of taking away from me whenever I decide to have a child, which would be your actual first grandchild?" All this freaking out and excitement over what you consider your first grandchild, since her and Sarah's dad weren't even together at that point. Again, she responded with, "Sarah is my oldest child though." She's also told me before that if she would have never dated my dad, therefore, you know, had me, she would have been with Sarah's dad in the first place, since she knew him before, and that she believes Sarah would have really been her first child. Never mind the fact that she was 13 to 14 when Sarah was even born. All of this makes me feel disregarded and extremely shitty, so much that I really even don't want to have kids, because I feel like I have no one on my side of the family that would care. I don't know if I'm just being stupid and immature or if my feelings are valid. Sad and mad though it is, I think the sooner you accept that she's just not into you, the better. Seriously consider cutting her out of your life completely. Unfortunately you no longer have a functional caring mother, and I don't see any way to change that. She's clearly someone who makes very passionate and very stupid choices. This sounds really sad. I'm sorry you've been going through this. You didn't do anything to deserve it. If you think you'd be better off without your mom in your life, maybe you would be, and could consider distancing yourself from her to protect your own feelings. Your feelings are valid. You're not being unreasonable and you deserve a better mother. Unfortunately, your mom doesn't seem capable of being the person you want her to be. This is going to be really hard, but you need to lower your expectations. Go low contact, and spend your emotional energy elsewhere. My own mother has treated me like this my entire life. She always strongly favored my older sister, to the point of poisoning that relationship for years. It's taken a lot of time, and deep breaths, but I'm learning to let go and not spend my time and energy worrying about pleasing my mother. We have a relationship on my terms. I'm less disappointed because I've dropped all my expectations. 17 years is long enough to invest in a bad relationship. That is what you have with your mother. It's time for you to break up with her. You are being short-sighted by thinking that you shouldn't have kids because that monster won't be there for you. Not having her support might be the best thing for a kid. Don't stop your own future because your mother doesn't see you clearly. Your mother has said enough hurtful things for you to walk away from her. Don't be shy about telling people how incredibly awful your mother has been and why you aren't speaking to her anymore. It's better to choose your family than stick with one that resembles enemies. Minimize contact if she doesn't help you feel like the best version of yourself. We all want to feel loved, especially by our parents. If you can't feel that, then she doesn't need to be a big part of your life. How do I make friends? I'm not in school. 21 meters. I've tried talking with my co-workers and inviting them out to drinks after work and even for my 21st birthday at the beginning of the month, but it's always "or next time" and "sorry I said I would hang out but I just went home. Next time to when is it going to be next time?" I'm on Hinge and Tinder just to have a conversation with someone and make a friend or find a partner, but the talks always feel one-sided. Like I'm bothering the other person. I feel the same way when I try to talk to my coworkers. And I never know what to talk about or what to say next. I've got to do and I'm tired of being so lonely. I want real friends, someone who will talk to me even if I don't have 420 to smoke, someone who will text me first instead of ghosting me for 3 weeks until I hit them up asking how they're doing. Someone who at least pretends to care. Just want to be happy. And I don't know how to get there. Edit. Wow. After coming back to this, I just want to say thank you to you all. So many of you have messaged me to talk. I have no words to describe this. Thank you all. My best advice would be find some hobbies. I've made some of my closest and strongest friendships through playing paintball personally, but it could be any hobby you want that's social. Physical activity is the best for a few reasons, but even just online gaming is good. As long as it puts you in contact with other people, that's the most important thing. I've heard good things about Meetup. Is that another app? There's a saying in the restaurant industry, if you need it, you're not gonna get it. It sounds pretty bad, but it just kinda boils down to the fact that every time you need good tips, every time you need the cash just a little bit more than usual, customers can just sense it on you and you won't make good money that night. It happens almost every time. People can tell when you need something from them, however unconsciously. I went through the same thing you are. I didn't go to college and stayed home and worked. I ran out of friends eventually, and desperately wanted to make new ones. Tried and tried, to no avail. Eventually I just stopped worrying about it and friends came along pretty quickly afterwards. It'll happen, I promise, just stop fixating on it. I guarantee, for whatever unconscious reason, you'll seem more approachable and friends will come more easily. Got any hobbies? I have 2 sets of friends, my car friends and my non-car friends. Car friends I spend majority of my summers with, then in the off-season maybe once a month to catch up and do sim racing or go-karting. Then non-car friends I work out with and just hang out. Also, don't worry about the co-workers. Most co-workers don't want to hang out outside of work in general. It's normal. Maybe start a hobby and meet friends from it. You know what I do in the winter? I make Lego creations and build them with my buddy who I used to play hockey with. We're not like Lego nerds, but we have a lot of fun doing that. Find something fun to do and friends will come. You can't force friendships. Be friendly, be yourself, and people will enjoy you. This sounds like just a rough patch. Hello. There is an app/website called Meetups. I have used it a lot as I moved to a new city a few years ago and knew no one. You can meet people with similar interests/hobbies/sports, or just people who want to go party. Whatever you like. And it's nice because everyone is there to make friends. I'm sure some meetups will be safe in person/outside, but probably some of them will be via Zoom as well now if you prefer. Also, starting a new class, club, hobby was a great way for me to meet people too. Sorry your work people suck. I've worked places like that before. I think it's also a struggle to make decent friendships on dating style apps. that was tricky for me too. But try the 2 ideas above, they worked well for me. It's good to keep trying new tactics, and by this time next year I'm sure you'll have a whole bunch of great friends. Smile. I was also going to suggest meetup. I have met a handful of people here. Friend is fully descending into anorexia and I'm in recovery. Would it be rude of me to tell her I cannot be around her? Huge TW. I'm in eating disorder recovery and I've worked really hard to get where I am. My friend used to be pretty heavy, but over the past couple of years has gone headfirst into dieting, first starting a regular diet, then becoming vegan, then becoming raw vegan, then completely giving up alcohol. Most recently, she has gotten herself diagnosed with ADHD solely to get her hands on an Adderall prescription, and this is where she is descending into full-blown skeletal territory. I mean, she really is skeletal, probably going from 165 to 170 to around 85 to 90 pounds. She is constantly Snapchatting me videos of herself with clothes falling off her, with comments like this only a size 2, it's falling off. I can't believe I used to be a size 16, or herself wearing just a bra and panties and body checking. I'm sure she's sending these to other people as well. I literally cannot be around her at this point in my mental health. Eating disorders are notoriously competitive, and being around someone actively starving themselves will be a huge trigger to make me descend down this path again. I've already noticed this affecting me mentally. I'm not sure if this is something I should bring up to her. She wants to hang out with me frequently and I just cannot do it. How should I proceed with this situation? Please do it. Nothing is worth going back there again. You don't owe her any explanation, and in the state she is right now, she may not take it well, but if you feel the need to tell her, do it. If not, just run as far as you can. When she decides to recover, then you can be there for her. But now just set as much distance as you can, save yourself first. As shitty as it seemed to some people, as a person who's helped multiple people with their disorders, mainly drug addiction, if you are suffering from one yourself, you cannot be that emotional shoulder for another until you're absolutely sure and secure in yourself. It sucks, but it's the truth. She's doing everything you've struggled to overcome doing. She's practicing habits you've unlearned. That's like having an alcoholic stay in a bar 24/7. It's not conducive to your own health. It can sound cold to other people, but for so long you have been battling this thing, and you are doing so good with your recovery. Do not let someone take that away. You can kindly tell her, I love our friendship, but it is not healthy for my recovery to watch you go down a path I'm trying to return from. Please respect that. I wish you all the best. Please think of yourself kindly during all this. Eating disorder recovery here. It is completely acceptable and actually needed for you to distance yourself from this person. It is detrimental to your own recovery. Recovery is a lot about putting yourself first, even if that means having to be selfish sometimes. Tell her that you can't be around her and block her. Eds are very hard to recover from, and you need to put your recovery first. She sounds pretty sick and in a bad place. If you can, I'd reach out to a mutual friend or a family member of hers and alert them that you are withdrawing from her and your concerns. She needs help, but you cannot be there for her. Make sure you are talking to your own therapist about how triggering this is for you. And good job on recovery. It takes work. I've been in recovery for over 15 years at this point and I can tell you it gets easier over time. Keep going and keep focused on saving yourself. You deserve to recover.